Ryan, this is a family table, you can sit near the bathrooms. My sister-in-law laughed as guests smirked. The waiter handed me a $22,000 bill. I took a sip of my bourbon and smiled. None of them knew who would be paying tonight. My name is Ryan Keating, and tonight I was paying for a party where one person desperately wanted me to know I didn't belong. Melissa. She never liked me. Not from day one. I don't even think she liked Jenna, her own sister, but that never stopped her from acting like she was the queen of the family. She talked over people, made decisions nobody asked her to make, and somehow convinced herself she was the main character in every situation. Maybe that's why she hated me so much, because Eleanor actually liked me. Eleanor, my mother-in-law, was one of the only people in Jenna's family who had ever made me feel welcome. From the moment Jenna introduced me, Eleanor treated me like I was one of her own. She never cared that I wasn't born into this family. I was her daughter's husband, and to her, that meant I mattered. And Melissa hated that because Melissa had a problem with men. Not in the I don't need a man way, no, that would have been fine. But she was bitter, angry, the kind of person who thought every guy was trash because her own marriage had crashed and burned. Her husband left her 3 years ago, and ever since then, she had been on some kind of personal mission to make sure no man ever felt comfortable around her again, especially me. So when I saw her sashaying toward me in her designer dress, smirk locked and loaded, I already knew this wasn't going to be good. Ryan, we need to talk. I exhaled through my nose, swirling the bourbon in my glass. Melissa, I don't think we do. Oh, but we do. She placed a perfectly manicured hand on my arm like she was about to tell me something deeply personal. It's about the seating arrangements. Tiny change. I looked at her. What change? She gave me that fake sympathetic pout. You'll be at table 14 instead of the main table. It just makes more sense. I blinked. Table 14? You mean the one in the back by the bathrooms? She let out a little laugh. Oh, don't make it sound so bad. It's still a great seat. Melissa. I set my drink down. I organized this party. I paid for this party. And you're telling me I don't get to sit at the table with my own wife? She tilted her head, looking so pleased with herself. Ryan, it's just, well, it's a family table. I let out a slow, humorless laugh. I'm literally married to Jenna. Exactly, she said as if that proved her point. Jenna is family. She waved a hand in the air, here, of course. I stared at her. Did Eleanor approve this? That made her hesitate, just for a second. Eleanor is too busy enjoying her night to worry about seating charts, she said smoothly. So I took care of it. You understand? Oh, I understood perfectly. Before I could say anything else, a waiter hesitated beside me. Mr. Keating, just confirming the additional orders, truffle risotto, caviar tasting, the vintage paragon. Mrs. Melissa said you approved them? I turned my head so slowly I swear I could hear my own neck crack. I did what? Melissa took a sip of her champagne, completely unbothered. Oh, relax, Ryan. It's a party. You wouldn't want Eleanor to feel restricted, would you? I stared at her. This wasn't about the food or the seating or even the party. This was about control. About reminding me that in her version of this family, I was just a guest. I took out my phone, scrolling through my banking app, and tapped the restaurant tab, leaving it completely open, no limits, no restrictions. You know what? I said, looking her dead in the eyes. You're right. Her smirk widened. Finally, you're seeing reason. I smiled back. Go crazy, Melissa. I patted her on the shoulder. Really, order whatever you want. She narrowed her eyes. What are you playing at? I finished my drink and set the glass down with a quiet clink. Nothing. And then I walked away. Melissa thought she had won. By the end of the night, she'd be the one paying for it. I walked away from Melissa, feeling her eyes burning into my back. I didn't have to turn around to know that she was fuming, probably already plotting whatever petty little move she thought would put me in my place. Let her. I wasn't playing defense anymore. I headed straight for Jenna, who was laughing with Eleanor near the head table. The second Eleanor spotted me, her face lit up. Ryan, darling, come here. She reached for my hand, squeezing it warmly. I was just telling Jenna how perfect everything is tonight. You really outdid yourself. I smiled, the tightness in my chest loosening just a bit. Anything for you, Eleanor. Jenna turned toward me, her brows knitting together. Hey, where have you been? You look, she paused, searching for the right word. Like he's been dealing with Melissa, Eleanor finished, rolling her eyes. Jenna groaned. What did she do this time? I forced a smile. Nothing I can't handle, Eleanor sighed, rubbing her temples. I swear, that girl thrives on making everyone miserable. You know, she actually tried to tell me I should sit at the second table because, and I quote, the young generation should take the spotlight. Jenna's jaw dropped. She what? I let out a low chuckle. Yeah, well, apparently, I'm sitting at table 14. Near the bathrooms. Jenna's expression darkened. Oh, no. Don't worry about it, I said. Melissa thinks she's running the show. Let's see how she handles it when the curtain falls. And right on cue, Melissa's voice rang out over the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please? I turned to see her standing near the stage, one hand wrapped around a champagne flute, the other gesturing grandly. The woman had an uncanny ability to command a room. But tonight? She was about to choke on her own spotlight.